Hi guys, this is Benjamin Breaker Novotny, and I'm back with yet another cast that I found from a game that I was just cycling through my replays on, and I was actually just going through my downloads folder on my computer and just looking for what I could find to cast. I just felt like I was in the mood for it. I did just get done casting the Vasa Cast tournament, for those of you who are interested. Basically, if you guys are watching this YouTube video, then it will be less than 24 hours from the current date and time that you are seeing me cast this. So if you guys saw this 2 days later, you're like, I want to see close to 48 hours too late for that. But at any rate, I was just going through my old downloads folder and I found this replay. Actually, I found a replay pack from the MSI Pro World Cup. I really want to give a huge shout out to Luelis. He was actually quite helpful throughout the entire thing, and gave me the chance to cast Sen as the only Chinese caster available for the channel. And I want to say it really, it was my first huge spike in viewership. And the event itself was, it was very surreal. Like, I got introduced to all these guys that I didn't know before. Xiaosa, Dignitas Dream, the pro Protoss player, good friends with Love CD. And this is actually called the Pro Asia qualifiers because it didn't just strictly speaking represent Korea. I'm sure, of course there's Yo I Am First here, then there's Liquid Taeja, and they're both really, really well-known Koreans. Liquid Taeja, of course, he, back when he first joined Liquid, he had the reputation of being able to all kill entire teams in the IPTL Fight Club. And it looks like he's going for a command center first right now with what we see, as opposed to Yo I Am First. Excuse me, I Am First, not Yo I Am First. Sorry. I Am First, apparently going with a gateway. He's got gas, but he hasn't put any workers on it. This is, I want to say, a mistake. No. I see what he's doing. Okay. He was just going for a defensive opener just in case maybe Taeja was trying some proxy barracks shenanigans or something of that nature. And he stopped stopped harvesting gas at about 12 gas because he wanted to go for a macro-oriented opener. Mind games. Well, not mind games, maybe just I Am First paying excruciatingly close attention to Taeja's playstyle, and then Taeja paying excruciatingly close attention to First's playstyle. I do want to say, in terms of Protosses, I really want to say I Am First is one of the more aggressive players. Of course, also one of the more careful decision makers in this, but he's not being too terribly careful by throwing his probe at his opponent's SCV. This command center is going to finish, regardless of whether or not he gets that SCV. And Taeja taking advantage of the moment to go into his opponent's main. Check out just what he's going for, that kind of thing. And interestingly enough, there's a pylon placed all the way over here that the SCV was not supposed to see, but it sees it now, I guess. Again, more mind games. Nexus finishes it's going to finish just a teeny bit behind the orbital command that we see from Taeja. And I can't exactly remember this game's results. I can't even remember the winner of the entire tournament. All I can remember is it wasn't Sen and it was not Love CD. Now, my specialty, of course, is just combining the Chinese language and StarCraft together to kind of bring esports in China to my interest in a sort of harmony, if you will. But here we go. This is quite interesting. It looks like this is a Twilight Council opener. I would dare not say DTs, but it is still possible. Double gas on the way. Double gas finished at the main. Probe getting chased away by some Marines here. At this point, Taeja really doesn't have any vital scouting information. This is not initially, at least not initially, going to be a timing attack from what we can see. There's nothing to indicate that just yet, because if there was going to be a timing attack, we would have to see a robotics facility. Blink is on the way. Make no mistake about that. But I really want to say this is maximizing the danger zone that we see I Am First getting into. Now, I do have to explain myself. There's a reason why I keep on calling I Am First Yo I Am First, and that reason is because there's a clan in Taiwan known as Yo Iron Men. And basically, that's their name. I cast them so much that I'm used to seeing Iron Men more than I am used to seeing Incredible Miracle. Here we go. Double gas is going down at the natural, so that's really going to help reinforce the stalker count at later stages in the game. 3 gateways and a robo bay on the way, so it looks like this could be that timing I was talking about earlier. We didn't see a robo bay on the way just at that point, so I didn't want to call it out at that point yet, but here we go. Blink is finished, but I don't think we're going to see, you know, just that perfectly harmonized timing. It is starting to come together. More stalkers warping in right here, but the question is, where's the observer in all of this, if it is in fact out on the map? Here we go. That's the closest observer we can see thus far. Alright, now we have 6 stalkers getting ready to get into position at the main of Liquid Teja. But Teja is not oblivious to this. He does have a read on what his opponent's trying to do. He does see the Twilight Council. He knows where his base is weak. And there it is. The stalkers blinking into the main. They're going to target down this this tech lab immediately, but it looks like they're not going to get it. Instead, they're going to get a few worker kills. And first, gonna blink out his stalkers a few at a time, trying to maximize all those probe kills, or excuse me, those worker kills that he can, those SCV kills. And that gained him 7 SCV kills, and now he's immediately starting to poke away at the weak points of Liquid Teja. He's kind of making a dangerous move right there. Loses a stalker in the process, but overall, I think the damage that he's inflicted on his opponent is more than worth it. And if we check what he's doing back home, he's actually oversaturating. Make no mistake, even though his army supply is larger than that of, excuse me, his army supply is larger than that of Liquid Teja, a lot of that is actually tied up in workers. If we just check the worker count right now, yeah, see it's a 13 supply difference. You can see that Teja obviously has a higher worker supply, or excuse me, a higher army supply. But one thing you have to keep in mind is that behind this, you know, he was just supply blocked. It's going to, that difference is going to climb, and it actually is going to make a bigger difference in the later game. Slight differences, but that's all that matters. This is a super analytical, in-depth look at things. Stalkers waiting here. This could be a mistake if they choose to blink in, but the Marines were intent on killing that observer, and not only did they kill it, they killed a stalker in the process. Now, that for a contain was pretty effective by first, but he's going to have to be extremely careful because these Marauders now have concussive shells just 10 seconds away from finishing, and that stim is going to allow them to chase the stalkers down. And there it is. Oh, it finishes. I don't know if First has caught onto this just yet, but it's alright. He has more forces waiting for him back home. He's got an Immortal and a ton of Zealots. Zealot legs on the way, but not finished. So basically the Marines and the Marauders here are going to be able to kite the gateway units of I Am First. Alright, and here we go. Huge engagement, but it looks like both players are just kind of backing away and breaking even. And I want to say First is going to blink forward and take down a couple of medevacs, get a few stalkers caught out of position, maybe just overcommit a tiny bit. He's chasing him all the way back to his natural, and finally reinforcements catch up, and he's like, you know what, I got superior numbers, I'm pushing back, and First made the mistake of overcommitting here. And this is just not going to work in favor of First at all. That Immortal getting chased down and target fired. He does turn around and blink, or he does turn around and manage to kill one Marauder. And now this is just one of those back and forth, back and forth, back and forth kind of engagements. You know, it's really interesting to watch, isn't it, guys? Speaking of interesting, we have First throwing down a pylon where the third should go down. I guess that's a pylon block, if you will, but it's only a temporary block at that. Interestingly enough, it looks like Teja is going for the Expo right here. He's got to throw down his command center at that location anyway. Keep in mind it's at least a safer location than just directly putting it down here, because then it's open to blink stalker run-bys, if you will. Blink stalkers jumping in, jumping out, etc. And now we got +2 ground weapons on the way for Protoss. And +2/+2 on the way for Terran. Of course, +2 armor also on the way for Protoss. So this is going to be one of those neck and neck games that you guys love to see so much, guys. I was actually really surprised at loading this replay due to the fact that I did not have to revert to an older version of StarCraft 2 to watch it. I mean, this was back in November. What changed since then? I think Infestor fungal growth range got a nerf. And this is definitely not looking good for IM First right now. If we just check the supply differences right now, outside of workers, to say the very least, IM First does not have enough combat supply to stand up to this, really. There's a factory coming in here, and it's going to see just what it needs to see. It's going to see that, well, he already knows there's a third, but he needs to, know what's there and when exactly it is there. And that's exactly what he sees. Right here, we have destructible debris, and the probe is just now catching on to the fact. I don't know if First saw that, but the probe just basically caught on to the fact that the main army was here. He's like, you know what? It's okay to throw a probe out there just to see where the main army is going. Tejal's like, you know what? He sees me going up there. I'm going to pull back. Safe choice. Nothing wrong with that. Now we have a total of 7 gateways here. There's a probe here, just trying to check and make sure he knows when that third is going down. Not sure if it's that important, but of course it does make a difference in the long run. Back to tech, we have IM First researching Psionic Storm and throwing High Templar into the mix. Of course, they're basically going to be some dead-ish supply for the next 80 seconds. But of course, every second they're out on the field, they build up more energy, and with more energy, that's less gas to spend on High Templar, assuming that your opponent does not have any ghosts in the composition, which is the case for Liquid Teja. He has no ghosts. He does have a Ghost Academy on the way, but by the time it finishes, there won't be enough energy on those ghosts to immediately throw out any EMPs. But at this rate, at this point, we are going to have to see that one clutch engagement for IM First. I feel he doesn't have enough anti-air to take down these Vikings, and we do have Teja going for the all-in, I feel. At least I feel it's an all-in. He is pulling Vikings, and it looks like, oh no, this is the big mistake by IM First. He's just gonna, oh my god. Teja is basically strangle choking IM First. He says, you know what? You didn't decide to kill me, so no, I'm gonna kill you. And that's a beautiful storm right there. Another one going down. Just all that AoE really counting against his opponent. The three, oh my god, all three of these things are still alive, but Teja just goes ahead and throws out GG, and he leaves the game. Even though he's killed his opponent's third, he doesn't have enough army left over to stand up against this, and there's no way he has enough production to stand up against it. But I don't know. Teja, he just doesn't want to keep up with the fight, so he just gave up and left. Alright guys, if you liked what you saw, go ahead and click the follow button on my channel. I do appreciate it if you would. Yeah, just a subscribe button. Thanks a lot, guys. Go ahead and add me as a friend on Facebook as well.